What y'all know about DMX, man? Rest in peace to the OG. DMX had a song called Here We Go Again. Same old dog, just a different day.
An update from the ABC 15 investigators. The Department of Justice is now actively investigating after a series of our reports. I'm investigator Jennifer Kowaleski. This is a major development in a case of mistaken identity after U.S. Marshals falsely arrested a Phoenix woman outside her home. Here are the details and the new developments.
There was no innocent until proven guilty in this.
What happened to Penny McCarthy is now being investigated by the Department of Justice. Why was it important for you to write this letter to the Inspector General?
Because what took place was so wrong.
U.S. lawmakers called for a federal probe in direct response to our reporting and sent this letter last month to the DOJ.
We want to get to the bottom of it. We want to know what's going on.
For months, ABC 15 has exposed how the federal government made a mistake and wrongfully arrested then 66-year-old Penny at gunpoint in March outside her Phoenix home.
That's why we've asked the Inspector General to dig into this and get us all the facts on how they screwed up and got the wrong individual.
And now we've learned the Office of the Inspector General recently interviewed Penny about what happened. The first step in what lawmakers expect will be a lengthy process. What would you want to say to Penny McCarthy?
Well, her government should tell her we're sorry.
Penny says the interview lasted a little over an hour and says she was asked basic questions.
Hands up! Hands up!
Her shocking false arrest was also captured on body camera video.
Turn around.
ABC 15 fought for 6 months to obtain these videos through a federal public records request. The footage shows 6 U.S. Marshals armed with rifles wrongfully arresting Penny.
You have an arrest warrant. Turn away from the side of my body. Yes, for you.
Who am I?
Turn away. Turn around. We'll discuss.
Turn away. You're going to get hit.
Federal agents admit they thought Penny was this wanted fugitive from Oklahoma who had violated her parole on a 2-decade-old warrant for nonviolent crimes. But they were wrong.
Just how severely violated and mistreated that I was because of the lack of something.
If you turn around again, you're going to get taken. Understand me?
A full fingerprint analysis would confirm Penny was not the wanted fugitive, but not before she had to spend a night in federal custody.
You guys messed up. You messed up bad. And I hope this sheds so much light on every error you've ever made until you guys learn how to treat people with respect and dignity.
So what happens from here? Lawmakers expect this investigation could take 6 months to a year to complete. We reached out to the DOJ. A spokesperson with the Office of the Inspector General said, "It is our general practice not to confirm or deny the existence of any ongoing investigation." U.S. Marshals have admitted they mistakenly arrested Penny and said it regrets any inconvenience. We will keep asking questions and pushing for accountability. I'm investigator Jennifer Kowaleski, ABC 15, Arizona.
If I said everything I already said the first time I recorded audio for this video, y'all gonna think I'm wrong. So I'm gonna leave you with your own thoughts for now, Mr. and Mrs. Judge and Jury. Let's carry on a little more.
Update on a story Western Mass News has been following for months. The arrest of Sheriff Nick Kochi outside the MGM Springfield Casino last September.
Tonight we speak directly to the sheriff about what happened that day from his perspective as State Police released body cam footage from the scene.
How you doing, Sheriff? Good, very good. Good, hi.
But in fact, Hampton County Sheriff Nick Kochi wasn't doing good at all. Calling it not his finest moment, this body cam footage showing the moment State Police first approached him after finding his official vehicle damaged and parked in front of the MGM Springfield Casino. At first saying a friend of his was driving the SUV, which later proved to be false. The sheriff is then told by the trooper that he's being recorded and everything about the situation is being, quote, taken by the numbers.
Sir, none of us wants to be involved in this, all right? But I can smell alcohol coming from your breath.
The encounter would eventually lead to the sheriff's arrest on a driving while intoxicated charge. Do you think that the state police officers or troopers acted accordingly? Did they do their jobs?
Absolutely. I think during this whole process, you have never heard me once utter a word about any agency for doing their job. That's what they're there to do. I believe, ultimately, the only person to blame for that incident on that night is Nick Cochi. And that's why I've taken full responsibility for it.
It's a refrain the sheriff has repeated multiple times since he was taken into custody back on September 21st. That day, before pulling into the casino with a tire missing and on a damaged rim, Cochi admits he'd been golfing at Springfield Country Club and had a couple of beers.
You've got clear indications of alcohol consumption.
100%.
All right. I can tell that you've admitted to alcohol consumption. You've got your speech is a little bit slurred. All right. I can smell it coming off your breath. I can see the redness in your eyes. I'm going to ask you a second time if you will perform field sobriety so I can determine if you are safe to drive.
What was going through your mind while this was happening?
Well, I think the same things that would go through anybody's mind. We made a mistake here.
A mistake that would lead to his arrest and eventually in court, the suspension of his license and agreement to attend a driver's education course. He also paid nearly $2,500 to repair damage to the state vehicle he was driving. Still, though, the sheriff says he's under no illusions that he failed himself and those he serves on that day back in late September. And he's not looking for or expecting special treatment, saying he shouldn't be and wasn't treated differently than anybody else.
You don't blame others. You don't point fingers. You put your hand up and take responsibility. And you be the person that you hope, after 32 years as a correctional professional and 8 years as a sheriff of this great county, that people know me to be.
The case against Sheriff Nick Cochi will be dismissed if he completes probation and stays out of trouble for a year.
My thoughts about this video are probably more favorable than my thoughts about the last one. But I'm still going to reserve them for now. I'm really interested in what y'all thinking at this point.
A sergeant in the Denver Sheriff's Department has been fired after what happened during a traffic stop. She's accused of flashing her badge for preferential treatment.
However, the former sergeant is disputing that, claiming her driver's license was in her badge holder, and she pulled that out. Investigative reporter Jeremy Hohola now has his hands on the body camera footage from that night. Jeremy?
Yeah, Tom, this sergeant was fired last month, but it wasn't for actually flashing her badge. It was for being deceptive about flashing her badge. The penalty for being deceptive as an officer in Denver usually carries the consequence of termination.
90 miles an hour.
This is a traffic stop in April. Police body camera footage shows a Denver police officer catching a driver speeding along I-25. As the officer walks up to the car, inside is Sergeant Bridget Andrews with the Denver Sheriff Department. She pulls out a leather case. Before anything is said, in her left hand she is raising up a badge holder showing her Sheriff's Department ID. Her badge is underneath the leather flap. In her right hand, obscured by the flashlight, is her driver's license.
What's your license, please?
The officer runs her license and comes back, and then the two disagree over how fast she was going. The officer comes back with the radar gun.
Okay, so you're at 90 miles an hour. I come up and I stop you and you immediately throw your badge up into my face. I don't need that, okay?
I keep my badge, I think, in my wallet.
Your ID was in your wallet, you pulled it out and you had your ID in one hand and the badge in the other.
During the internal affairs investigation, records show Sergeant Andrews insisted she pulled out her driver's license, claiming it is always in my badge, and didn't intentionally flash her sheriff's ID. However, the city felt she was deceptive about that claim while citing the video evidence and imposed termination. Sergeant Andrews was fired this past December, about 2 weeks before her 9-year anniversary with the Sheriff Department. Now get this, discipline records indicate if there was no act of deception, the sergeant here would have been suspended for about 40 days for flashing her sheriff's ID and badge holder. The city tells us she is appealing her termination. Tom, back to you.
The body camera footage takes us right there.
Right there.
Yeah,
front seat.
All right, Jeremy, thanks.
And there you have it. All right, we go. All right. This man said the body cam footage takes us right there. I know I just covered like 2 videos where chiefs and sheriffs were telling us we could not believe their own body cam footage because it showed how guilty their ass was. Now, obviously, they used the body cam footage to deal with this situation and this lady. But I didn't hear the cops saying, hey man, the body cam footage is right there and we can believe it. But they didn't say it verbally, but they clearly said it, because like I said, that's what they used to deal with her. And then for these back to blue ass journalists, man, shut your ass up, fam. I'm gonna keep it real with you. Let me let's start at the beginning, man. I made that video where they arrested that lady, man. I made that video like 3 or 4 times. And it infuriated me. It upset me so much I was snapping. And you know, I don't always like going off like that in my videos. I want to be more of a, you know, covering the story, just giving my opinions on it and just being emotional about it, even though my emotions be my opinion too. So that's how we ended up with 3 videos this time. But yeah, man, several things I want to talk about in that video. Then we're going to move to the next one and the last one. The cops pointing the guns at her, and then the dude told her, if you turn around again, I'm going to tase you. That could very well be just because they were trying to use verbal aggression to keep it from being a physical confrontation where they had to actually attack her and assault her and stuff. So I'm a fan of that. You know what I mean? I would rather you be doing that than some of the things, the video where the cops said, we can't believe the camera. They arrested the man, they had him on the ground, they beat his ass. But we can't believe what we see on their own body cam. So I'm pretty sure that there are certain situations where cops do things like that. You know what I mean? They use the verbal tactics, the verbal aggression, the verbal intimidation, so they don't have to be physically violent. I'm not going to sit up here and pretend there aren't some cops that don't want to go there and they try to do everything they can to keep from going there. But as a whole, y'all have a reputation for what someone said in the comment. All y'all know is violence. That's it. So even though I'm putting that out there to be somewhat objective, I'm not in any way implying that I believe that's what happened here. I just think y'all are cowards. You know what I mean? I have another video coming where you will see 2 different cops try to intimidate a guy in Florida, and he shut their ass down every time, and they turn into pampering chihuahuas. So I do think that was unnecessarily violent for him to say that. Because the lady, there was literally nothing she could do, and then the story just gets worse when we find out that wasn't even the right lady. Y'all had those heavy ass military weapons pointed at her. You were raising your voices, which is another intimidation tactic, because anytime a citizen does it, y'all start talking about disturbing the peace and all that ignorant stuff. So it's very unfortunate that that lady had to go through that. I'm gonna always say, no matter who doesn't want to hear it, if we would have dealt with this behavior when Negroes were the only Negroes being treated like this, we wouldn't have so many instances of non-Negroes being Negroes now. So I don't give a damn how much people want to talk about this. Conversation has nothing to do with race. It could have been stamped out when it was just about race. And because it wasn't, we're here today. As far as the journalists, the media platform here, man, they always are investigating these cowards up here. The DOJ has so many investigations going on into Arizona police and Arizona government that is crazy. At this point, I'm just starting to think those investigations are a facade. Them going to talk to this lady, it's a facade. They're trying to pacify the American public. I don't think we should go for the placation. And this dude saying she wants the government to apologize, man, FTP and y'all apologies, family. We don't want that. We want real justice and retribution. As it pertains to this sheriff getting arrested, man, listen, I said my opinions about that video aren't going to be as harsh as my first, because I didn't really tell you how mad I was about that first video, but not as harsh as that one. I'm not mad at humanity, fam. You in a cop uniform, so y'all get celebrated for higher standards when y'all don't meet them. So yeah, you always got to meet higher standards, but everybody human, fam. I try to be objective. I always say that. I ain't finna just get on his ass because he had a drunk night and took it too far. Now, we're going to get at the weight it deserves with you being a 30-year, 10-year cop. We wouldn't know that shit unless you said it. And an 8-year sheriff, a law enforcement officer, period, presiding justice keeper, high ranking. Yeah, motherfucker, come on, man. It's got to be about public safety, big dog. But once again, how much can I crucify him? I've been in situations where I made bad decisions that put myself and other people in harm's way too. So I ain't really on that. And then he stood at the podium saying, I don't believe none of that shit he was saying. I just feel like he felt like this was the right thing to say. All right, let me manipulate this situation and make myself look like a virtuous person in it. Man, your ass was out there wilding, fam. But we know what the problem was. And I'm glad that journalists asked that question. Do you think they handled it right? No, because whatever he said, none of us wants to be in this situation. You commonly see this when cops are arresting cops or find themselves in situations where cops need to be arrested. They dread doing their damn job. That is the problem. You don't see that when they're arresting other people. A la the next video. That's a cop. So am I contradicting myself? Hell no. I'm going to say something that people who know me will probably be a little surprised to hear me say, and that's just because of their biases, not mine. Girl, your ass was lying while being black, and you was lying while being a woman. I'm seeing this now, and I promise you, this is my first time getting this epiphany. they don't be letting women off the hook. As far as women cops don't be getting off the hook like male cops do. Now, a lot of this time when women cry foul because it just be victimized bullshit. Y'all just always want to sound like little toddlers and shit, always whining about something. Sit your baby ass down, man. Ain't nobody fucking with you because you know women. You experience the same shit everybody else experiences in life. But some things, like, I'm wondering why, some things are true. People go through things because of who they are. And I'm wondering why the more I cover these stories, I'm starting to see, like, when women cops are guilty, they don't be giving them the same leeway and leniency that they give the guys. So this good old boy club, even down to the damn journalists, like I said, there goes the body cam. So like I said, all of a sudden we can believe body cam. So that stood out to me about that video. But your lying ass did try to flash that badge. So, I mean, but the bigger question is the injustice of why they don't have any consistency in their morality. We literally see these cowards murder Americans. Y'all don't do a damn thing. Literally, y'all send them home with paid vacations. She got fired. Y'all didn't say she had a history of anything. So the only thing I can tie that back to is there was some interdepartmental bullshit going on, probably beef or something, and y'all were looking for a chance to get that woman out. Now, is she we all in the job market probably have worked with assholes that probably needed to be ostracized and gotten rid of. Was that the case, or was, like I say, is it because she's a woman and she's a black woman? But I will say, man, that's what I think. I think your ass got caught lying while being black and you got caught lying while being a woman, because I've just seen too many instances where men, black, Chinese, whatever, man, too many of y'all motherfuckers out there, white, whatever, do this and worse, and they ass don't get fired. So this was personal. This wasn't justice. But this is how cops behave in America, man. They have no consistency in their morality. I initially wanted to cover that first story alone, but I was just so irate about it. I said it might be better if I just couple it with a couple of other videos, so by the time I get to it, I won't be so frustrated and giving my opinion about it. Know who these cowards are, man. That lady didn't do a damn thing. Y'all pull out fully automatic, look like to me, weapons on her. And then got the wrong person and say, hey, man, we just made a mistake, and now they're going to investigate until they think we've forgotten about it. And do nothing. Know your rights. Teach your children their rights. Live free. And never trust a ass Johnny. Why would you?
If you turn around again, you're gonna get taped. Understand me?
A full fingerprint analysis would confirm Penny was not the wanted fugitive, but not before she had to spend a night in federal custody.
You guys messed up. You messed up bad. And I hope this sheds so much light on every error you've ever made until you guys learn how to treat people with respect and dignity.
She said it all. Thank you if you made it this far. If you liked the video, feel free to hit that thumbs up button. I greatly appreciate it. If you care to go a little further than that, maybe even subscribe, hit the notification bell. Check out a few of the other videos on the channel. Either way, y'all be safe.